Welcome back, everybody, to the Minnesota Twins franchise, episode 72. The Twins enter today 64-44 here in the thick of the playoff race. Last episode, we traded for Mike Foltynewicz, and he made his Twins debut. It was not a good one, however, as he only lasted 4.2 innings, allowed 3 home runs, 5 total runs. All in all, it was a really bad first impression, so again today, we're going to see Foltynewicz take the mound and hope for some different results. The Twins, since the All-Star break, have not been at their best, and we entered the All-Star break with a losing streak. We're only 5-8 since the break, and the Twins have a number of cold streaks on the team that we're trying to get fixed. Every team goes through some slumps here and there. It's not the worst time of the season to be dealing with it, but it needs to get over and done with here hopefully pretty soon. Foltynewicz was traded for to bolster our rotation and make it more complete. And I do think that he'll be able to do that, but we need some better results starting right here against the Texas Rangers. And he gets off to a pretty good start, striking out Elvis Andrus, who's had an awesome season this year, hitting .337. With that strikeout, by the way, Foltynewicz has as many strikeouts as he did in his Twins debut. The Rangers are able to get a base hit here with the speedy Delino DeShields. Then Nomar Mazara. Foltynewicz falls behind, and Mazara launches a 3-0 pitch deep to opposite field. That is gone for a first-inning home run. Foltynewicz gave up a 3-run homer in his Twins debut. So already we get started here on the wrong foot. The Rangers also put 6 lefties in their starting lineup to face Foltynewicz. Here is Rougned Odor with a slow chopper up the middle. Twins keep it to a 2-run first. In this game, the Twins faced Ivan Nova, who entered 8-7 with a 4.21 ERA. And I decided this team needed some new results. We were really going to shake things up. Daniel Palka into the starting role and into the leadoff spot as well, starting for Charlie Blackmon in this game. Palka singles. Then Goldschmidt here in the 2 spot as Nova gets ahead in the count. 1-2, he hits the outside corner. Goldie's a bit behind it. Strike 3. With 1 away, here's Nelson Cruz facing Nova, and he'll send this out to deep left. There's a tie game. A rough start again for Foltynewicz, but we basically give him a brand new game to pitch with. Cruz launches number 27 on the season. This travels 440 feet. So back to basically a 0-0 game in the second, as this is sent way out to left, but thankfully foul. 0-2 from Folty. The slider is there for strike 3 on Pedro Alvarez. Next up, Jarrett Parker, the 7-hitter, as Foltynewicz gets that fastball at 98. But then Parker squares up on the next pitch and sends out a 3-1 long ball to right center. Another homer allowed by Folty. That's already 5. 3-2 Texas. Foltynewicz was able to get more strikeouts this time, but he just couldn't keep the ball inside the park. 2 away, there is another close pitch taken by Nicholas. Folty had 3 walks in his first matchup, so base runners were reaching or scoring in a variety of ways against him. Twins keep it to a 3-2 game as we go bottom 2. Yunel Escobar back off the DL. Recently, he's been playing pretty well back in the lineup as he sends another drive down the line. This is a double, a little similar to one he had in the previous episode. Twins move him over, and with 1 away, Escobar with a slow chopper, essentially a bunt, and the Twins tie it up again for Foltynewicz. Top of the third, already at 53 pitches. There's a big strikeout on DeShields. 1-2 to Mazara. The knuckle curve is on the outside. So there was at least some improvement here in the early goings for Folty, as he blows another fastball by Joey Gallo and gets the slow grounder here to the right side. A 1-2-3 inning. I believe that was the first of its kind for Foltynewicz. 3 runs and 3 hits apiece. Bottom 3 for Minnesota. Here's a drive by Palka way out to right field, and it's hooking foul. 2-2 from Nova. How about a curveball right at the knees? Palka strikes out swinging. Here's Mitch Garver, who continues to be on the hot streak this year with the bat. He's in the cleanup role in this game and gets a base hit following a walk. Two aboard for Minnesota. Miguel Sano gets a breaking ball hung up, and he just sends it into the ground for an inning-ending groundout. Top four for the Texas Rangers. They have a runner on, and now a lazy pop-up here in foul territory. It was nice to see some easier outs for our defense. 2-2, the fastball at 97. Another good inning here for Foltynewicz. Bottom four for the Twins. 3-1 to Rosario. There's a great swing to center. Rosario with the single, trying to break out of his slump. Then Eduardo Escobar next. Another line drive. Down in left field. The Twins get hits from their 7 and 8 hitters. And then back to the top. Here's Polka, sending this out to the left side. 2-2. Too far in. Full count, and Polka walks. Bases loaded for Minnesota. Rangers need to have a mound visit because they're about to face one of the best hitters in the league, Paul Goldschmidt, who pops up the first pitch of the at-bat. Love going after high pitches with Goldie, but unfortunately this time he's a bit too underneath it. Twins unable to take the lead. We head into the fifth with a runner aboard. There's a stolen base for Andrews. DeShields trying to at least get him over, and he'll ground it to the right side. Runner in scoring position now, just 90 feet away. And that brings up Mazzara, who already homered. I thought this was the right time to go to the bullpen. Foltynewicz already had a sky-high pitch count. It was time to bring in the ex-Texas Ranger. We traded for him last episode as well. It's Jeremy Jeffress. In to face his former teammate. Here's the 2-1 on the ground sharply to third base. Sano to first, inning over, still tied at 3. We head into the bottom of the fifth inning, and the first pitch to Cruz is sent out to center field. Going back to the wall, this is gone for a home run. Twins take the lead. Number 28 for Nelson Cruz. What a season he's had, and he has not stopped hitting home runs since the Derby. Twins at last get their lead. Foltynewicz not in line for the victory if they could hold it, however. Hoping to extend the lead, here's Mitch Garver with a line drive into right. Another hit for the rookie catcher. Followed up by Sano, who takes this breaking ball into right. Twins open the inning with 3 straight hits. Here's Rosario with one away, pulling it to first. A quick flip to second base, the return in time. It's an inning-ending double play. Jeffress stays in the game going into the 6th. Facing Joey Gallo, hitting right into the shift. Little bobble and recovery for Yunel Escobar. With 2 down, facing Pedro Alvarez. There's another one into the shift. Tough play here for Escobar, but a strong throw to Goldie. And it's still a 4-3 Twins lead. The Rangers turn to their bullpen, and Wesley Wright, who has pretty good numbers on the season. The lefty facing Buxton. There's a base hit. Buxton still has the average hovering right around 200, but he gets on base. And you know that with him, basically every single turns into a double one way or another. Buxton takes second. Good effort, though, by the catcher, Nicholas. 0-2 count to Polka. He can't hit the fastball on the inside. 2 down for Goldschmidt. Hit hard, ripped out to left field and deep, but right at the left fielder, Jarrett Parker. Twins maintain their 1-run lead and turn things to the lefty, Buddy Boshears, the only lefty in our bullpen right now. However, he was set to face a righty instead of the lefties. Yasmani Tomas, the 8-hitting DH, gets the solo shot off of Boshears to tie the game. This is what I think is the Twins' biggest weakness right now, our left-handed pitching. It was probably an inning too early for Boshears, with 3 out of the 4 next batters set to be righties for the Rangers. As they get a base hit up the middle here in the 7th, Eduardo Escobar gets hurt on the play, so Josh Harrison no longer gets his off day. He has to come into the game. Boshears, meanwhile, still in to face a couple righties. Here is Elvis Andrews getting the base hit to the right side. Runner goes with the pitch, and runners now at the corners for Texas. DeShields back up, and he squares the bunt very late and does it extremely well to squeeze in the go-ahead run. Texas gets 2 in the 7th. Meanwhile, in the 8th, now Boshears can actually face the lefties. and this is where he probably should have been put into the game instead of in the 7th. Odor pops up here for Mitch Garver. That was definitely a bad blunder on my part to not get someone like Jake Reed into the game instead. So the Twins trailing and facing AJ Ramos, whose numbers were not very good. He was trying to set up their closer. 3-1 to Rosario. A couple easy takes helps Rosario take first base. Josh Harrison, meanwhile, now with his first at-bat of the day, and chops it to third base, and they'll go around the diamond for another inning ender. Scratch that, only 2 away, but Byron Buxton up next as the 9-hitter. 2-2 curveball, nicely done. Buxton throws the bat in frustration, and we head to the 9th. Here's Jake Reed in the game. Tomas, no home run off of him. There's strike 3. Reed's season has not been quite as good as the year prior, but hopefully down the stretch he's one of the pitchers we can really count on alongside Jeffress and Quackenbush. Keone Kela is the closer this year for the Rangers, and his numbers are quite outstanding. Here to face the 1-3. There's the heat blown by Palka for another strikeout. Goldschmidt next. 1-1 up the middle. That gets through. Twins have the tying run on base. And here's Nelson Cruz, who already hit 2 long balls. Who else would you want up in this exact spot? 0-1 to Cruz. Sent into foul territory for strike 2. And then a fastball past Cruz at 98 miles per hour. 2 down for Minnesota. It's up to the rookie Mitch Garver. 3 hits on the day. Twins fans getting fired up. They want to see the Twins get back on track. First pitch to Garver, another heater blown by him. The 1-1, too low. 2-1 to Garver. There's the high heat again to even the count. And the 2-2 is hit to short. Trapped. The throw is there. And in time to secure a Texas victory. Twins fall again. This time they get a bit more offense, but still have struggles with pitching. We saw multiple home runs from Texas in this game, and the bullpen wasn't able to hold the slim lead. That brings the Twins to just a 5-9 record since the All-Star break. After this game, I knew it was time to make one more roster move, and it's not necessarily a major one, although it could turn out to be. Our best lefty at AAA this year in the bullpen is Tyler J. He is a 71 overall, B potential 25-year-old pitcher, and we need more lefties here at the major league level. And I wanted to see what he could do this year. I think it's time. We need this role filled. It might not be quite the perfect time for him, given that he hasn't had the best season at AAA. But Tyler Duffy is hurt. Jay has the stamina to pitch a few innings if we need him to, so we called him up. Let's jump into one more game now. Twins trying to get a victory here at home against the Detroit Tigers. How about Raisel Iglesias with the fastball? Castellanos strikes out, and then a sinker in for another strike. Strike 3 with the slider. Iglesias just trying to secure another victory. However, a single into center will create some drama. The runner coming home is safe, and the Tigers blow the save. More bullpen problems for the Twins. This time, it's from our most reliable player in the bullpen this year. Twins keep it tied going bottom 9. Here's Byron Buxton trying to be the hero. Pulls a pitch on the outside in the air to left. A very lazy fly ball. Next up, Eduardo Escobar. I know he had a walk-off home run earlier in the season. Unfortunately, this will not be the same. 2 away from Minnesota. How about Mitch Garver? He will single through the right side, continuing his excellent year at the plate. Perhaps he could be in Rookie of the Year consideration. It's Zach Granite up next. Excellent diving play by Castellanos, and the Tigers force extra innings. So we turn things to Jeremy Jeffress with his 2.06 ERA. Both lefties and righties are hitting below 200 against him, and there's a sinker on the inside corner. Strike 3, and another one with the knuckle curve. Jeffress comes in and wastes no time at all. 3 strikeouts. Now that's dominant pitching. Bottom 10 Minnesota, look who's up. It's Joe Mauer. This is sent out to center, way back. and caught right on the warning track. Mauer not able to end it. Charlie Blackmon line to third base. He can't end it either. To the 11th we go. Jeffress stays in the game. And this is sent into right field for a base hit. Man on for the Tigers. And here's another 0-2 count with another strikeout with that knuckle curveball. One away and a grounder here to the left side. 2 great innings for Jeremy Jeffress. As we go bottom 11, and the leadoff batter here is Nelson Cruz. 0-1 and now 1-1. Next pitch, drilled out center field. That's going back to the wall. Good night! The Twins win it on a walk-off home run by Nelson Cruz. What an episode it was for him. Cruz with 3 home runs here in the games we focused on. This one of his biggest. The Twins have needed some big victories ever since the All-Star break, and they've been hard to come by. Nelson Cruz demonstrates why he was able to win the home run derby this season, but more importantly, he helps the Twins get a big victory here to snap a losing streak. Here it is one more time. This is absolutely crushed. This isn't close. That is off the wood facing there on that porch. Nelson Cruz, your player of the game, as we advance on. The Twins are able to take some of that momentum, and they turn it into 3 victories in a row against the Tigers. Unfortunately, they do not get the 4-game sweep. Here was the 3rd victory where we had Jay get into the game and pitch 3 shutout innings after Maxwell Fowler went 6. That's exactly what we want to see. But in the 8-6 loss here to Detroit, pitching was not very good. And in this one, it was Foltynewicz giving up 4 through 5 innings. So each of his first 3 starts were not very good for Minnesota. We follow that up by defeating the Kansas City Royals here, getting all 3 of our runs in the 9th inning on a Miguel Sano home run. We take a series from Detroit, we take the next series from KC, and Tyler Duffy is no longer hurt. So to get him back on the active roster, we end up sending Joe Mauer to AAA. He just hasn't had a major role on the team this year, and we need the roster spots. Next up for Minnesota, Jorge Polanco comes off the DL, so we're getting a lot healthier. Things are still pretty streaky though, with the 3-game winning streak, the 2-game winning streak, and now another 2-game losing streak. With Polanco healthy, however, we do send Eduardo Escobar down to AAA. We beat the St. Louis Cardinals, with Mike Foltynewicz finally getting a good start. 8 shutout innings, and St. Louis only had 4 hits off of us. He doesn't need to do this every start, but he needs to be capable of this kind of performance. We end up getting Mitch Garver hurt, though, in that St. Louis series, and it's not a major injury, but we're going to have to bring up Chris Jimenez now and have Jason Castro start again. Injuries have been a pretty common thing for this Major League roster this year. We dropped the series, though, to St. Louis in an ugly 10-15 game to close it out. We allowed 6 runs in the second, 4 in the third. This was a start for Alvarez, and one of his worst of the year by far. Duffy and Jay also didn't have good outings. In our next game, we're going to watch the Twins take on the Tampa Bay Rays. It feels like we haven't watched a Dallas Keuchel start in a while, and we're going to see him play against Blake Snell. The Twins are getting rid of some of their cold streaks, but now Paul Goldschmidt is in one. I believe his average has fallen something like 20 points since the All-Star break. We have a couple cold streaks now for pitchers with the young Fowler and Alvarez. So right now the Twins are not playing their best baseball, but even through these weeks of struggles, we're still in first place with a 70-50 record. Cleveland is 2.5 games behind us, but there still isn't much room for error. Look how good these wild card records are. There are good teams who are going to miss the postseason. The best team in the AL this season, though, has been the Toronto Blue Jays. They don't hit quite as well as we do. They still have Jose Bautista and Josh Donaldson hitting a bunch of home runs, but this is not an overall powerful lineup. Rather, they just have maybe the best pitching staff in the league. The rotation is solid and the bullpen is lights out. So just keep that in mind as the season goes on. Perhaps they're a team we could see in the postseason. Of course, we have to actually clinch our spot there first. Next episode, we'll see if we can get a little bit closer. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Hit the bell for notifications, and I'll have more Twins franchise coming your way shortly. Have a great day, everybody.